Geek Life presents.
It's your boy Koolaide. This is the homie Rich.
What's up? Did you catch that Easter egg? Champ is back.
Peace, mad flavor.
Be good, everybody.
What's up, and welcome to the Week in Geek. It's your boy Koolaide. I'm saying, as you see, the homie Rich is not with us today. You know how we ill and he gotta go home, take care of his stomach. He's 105 years old. It happens like that sometimes. But make sure you first like, comment, and subscribe and see all this nonsense we hit on a regular basis. Today on the King's Corner, we're gonna review The Batman. I know everybody's seen it. Everybody's been running out. It made like $1 billion this year at the movie theaters. But I brought in a special guest with me today. All right. If you don't know me that well, back in the day in the 2000s and 99, I used to do a little music with a crew called Show Fire and the Crunky Boys. And I brought my homeboy, AJ Sanchez, otherwise known as Tight to Know, you know what I'm saying, out. You know what I'm saying? So we can go ahead and, cause he's a Batman fan, and we're gonna see how we go ahead and we're gonna let us see how we do. All right, you saying, AJ, go ahead and tell them people about yourself.
Yeah, what's going on, y'all? AJ Sanchez here, aka Tight to Know, the R&B champ, you know what I'm saying? People said I have a voice smooth as butter, you know what I mean? But
take the panties off. The girls used to drop the drawers for you.
that was the rumor, right? That was the rumor.
That was the rumor. I know you married now and all, you know, settle down. Tell her to put her fingers in the ears.
Right. No, I told her to get out because, you know, I don't know what we'll be talking about. So, but yeah, man, you know, we did music back in the day. It was a lot of fun. And I still make a little bit of music here every now and again, but we grown up. You know, I can't rely on a mixtape to pay these bills.
Grown up. I don't got the voice like you do. All grown up.
All grown up. Yeah.
Like, yo, because we went to school together, and I remember the first time I found out that you could sing. Well, you know, we had a little poetry night, and I'm sitting there chilling, like, oh man, what AJ about to do? What? Oh, he's singing.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, people thought I was like a
your women.
They thought I was like a low budget pit bull when they saw me on stage. They were just
exactly
like,
right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And also, we both are big wrestling fans.
Man.
Who you following now?
Man, so like if you're talking WWE, you know, I'm a Roman Reigns fan, hands down.
Is it because you're from the islands, bro?
It's just a coincidence. Different islands anyway, right? But Roman Reigns, you know, the Usos. I love Finn Balor, huge Finn Balor fan.
Okay.
But
you're
AEW,
Bullet Club.
Man, Bullet Club for life.
Oh, okay. So who's your favorite wrestler of all time?
All time is The Rock, if you're talking all time.
What? Is it because he's from the islands too?
Yes, it is because he's from the islands, exactly.
No. Mine is Undertaker. He goes into the Hall of Fame finally.
Yes.
And I'm trying to be in the house because the Houston boy, just like me, cannot go out without me being in the audience to cheer him on. The dead man is going into the Hall of Fame.
Now, that's because Vince finally let him, you know, not have to work.
Oh, we ain't gonna talk about that. Bro, got bills. Probably got bills, man. You know.
I'm just saying, every time he tried to retire, Vince calls him up. Hey, I need you, Taker.
Yo,
I need you here.
My man, what's his name, Brock Lesnar win. I was in the house. I was salty.
Lesnar didn't have to win that one. You know what I mean? Like that's a whole nother conversation.
That's a whole nother conversation for the agent. Okay, we're gonna get here what we do. You know, we're gonna go ahead and speak about The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz. It made over $500 million this weekend in the movies alone. I'm saying, I brought you up. I called you up like, yo, R&B champ. You know what I'm saying? The homie Rich is out. I need a favor. And saying you came through. So, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna go through. We're gonna grade this on 3 categories. All right. Okay. We're gonna grade it on actor performance.
All right.
All right. You know what I'm saying, we're gonna give it on overall storyline.
Yeah.
I'm saying, then we're going to go ahead and give it an overall rating of an A to the F, like we in elementary school.
Okay.
You remember your grades, so I gotta spell it out for you and stuff?
No, I always made between A's and C's, so I get it. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the acting of the movie. What did you think?
All right, so first off, just to give you guys an idea of how I was going into the movie, right? I didn't really have too much of an expectation, right? First off, I'm not a Robert Pattinson fan whatsoever.
Are you a Batman fan in general?
I'm a huge Batman fan.
Okay.
When it comes to the more general DC characters, Batman's actually my favorite. I would choose Batman over Superman any day.
Superman is an overrated Boy Scout. That's a whole nother conversation.
Hugely overrated, right? So I'm a big Batman fan, always have been. In fact, I was a huge Batman fan since this Batman right here.
Oh, the OG Batman. So who's your favorite Batman?
Keaton was back in the day my favorite Batman.
Okay, so who is your favorite Batman now?
If you want to talk about overall storyline and everything, probably the Dark Knight.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? I did not like that movie either, but the other Collector Kings say I'm a hater, you know what I'm saying? Because another father, because with the crew I wrote with for comic books is the Collector Kings. And my homie Randy swears this was the best Batman of all time.
This one that we're talking about now?
Yes.
It's not, but we'll talk about it though for sure.
Look, my man, he was like emo.
So yeah. So going into this, right? I knew it wasn't gonna be it was gonna be a darker Batman, right? And I guess Robert Pattinson would be the guy for it, right? Because he's a Twilight vampire guy.
Did you like Twilight?
It grew on to me because of my wife. Had it not been for her, I never watched it until I got with my wife.
See, it's like The Notebook. Like men don't watch Twilight. Saying unless you got a woman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so all I knew him from was Twilight. So how do you get from being Twilight to Batman?
No clue.
Okay, so I'll let you keep going. So what else you think? What did you think about his overall performance?
I think so going into it, I didn't realize that this was supposed to be the second year of him being Batman, like in terms of storyline. So he's a younger, newer Batman. He's this younger, greener Bruce Wayne, not necessarily the playboy guy who kind of can balance his life now between being Bruce Wayne of Wayne Enterprises and Batman at night. He doesn't have that life figured out yet. So of course he's moody, emotional, darker because he's grumpy. So it makes sense that he's this emo Batman. So if you look at it that way, his performance I think was spot on in terms of.
I don't know, man. I kept waiting for Station Triple X to come playing in the background and him just to have sad times and just crying to himself, because even his hair was emo. Like, I didn't understand that. Like, why do you have that one long piece hanging down? Like, it was like, I thought he needed a hug through most of the whole movie.
I thought Linkin Park was going to play at some point.
Right.
And,
he had like the dark eyeshadow, even when he wasn't Batman.
Right. He just left the makeup on. He
just leave the makeup on. Like,
yeah.
Like he was going through something like that. I feel like, he needed some psychiatry. He needed, and then it seemed like he had not gone through the whole arc to become Batman. Like, originally Batman, he goes overseas. He learns from these escape artists. He seemed like he learned from Alfred and he was always being a dick to Alfred.
Again, right? Emo Batman. Like this man is still young. I don't remember them necessarily pointing out his age, but I know he's a younger Batman. And think about it, right? And I'm not trying to get racial, political, or anything, but if you think about these younger little white kids, they don't know how to respect older people.
None of these kids, period, screw race, anything. These kids nowadays, I don't know how to respect anybody.
So of course he's sitting there disrespecting Alfred.
And this is a person who took care of him his whole life.
One thing he said in the movie was, "You're not my real dad," or some junk like that.
That's what it is. This dude could have put you out on the street, son. Yeah. And then you won't go over here and you just disrespecting him like he took the explosion for you. You know what I'm saying? Remember, hey, if you ain't seen it yet, spoilers alert, go ahead and just, don't watch this one yet. Don't watch this one yet, because we about to spoil shit out this one.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about the whole thing.
Yes, and so I didn't understand how he even got with Zoe Kravitz. So what did you think of Zoe Kravitz?
I love Zoe Kravitz. I thought she did great.
Did you?
I thought she did awesome. I honestly think she was a good Catwoman. Selena Kyle. I think
don't
she
know,
did.
man. To me, like they changed everybody's story. Like, and I understand like this, we're in the arena of the multiverse.
Yeah.
Marvel, DC, everybody's about the multiverse. And it seemed like this was not the original storyline for Batman, period. Because her story was different. You know what I'm saying? Batman's story seemed a little bit different.
Yeah, and even the Waynes and his parents, like that background, that whole history was different too.
Yeah, like everything was different. And so I get it. She seemed like she was a criminal who didn't really want to be a criminal. You know, it didn't seem like she was a cat. Like it kind of over, like they said she was a cat burglar, but they kind of like glossed over it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And she was all about vengeance. So she seemed like she was more Batman than Batman.
Yeah, I could see where you feel that way.
You know, and then I didn't like the costuming for the movie. Like, do you know how she became the cat? Her hat looked like a Scully.
It did though. She looked more like a stick-up kid than a Catwoman.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like exactly. And so how is the big tough Catwoman dealing with the emo Batman? It didn't.
That is very true. I just knew I knew that she was smooth in the movie. Like she was smooth talking to all the people, and she was able to get through what she had to get through. You know what I mean?
Right. You know what I'm saying? And she would just show up, and she always wanted to fight. And then Batman was always the scary one, and she had to like hype him up.
Selena, don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it, Selena. You're going down their road. Screw that, Batman. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They missed our people. It's time to ride. Batman didn't seem like he wanted to ride at all.
Right.
He was saying there was a bromance with him, you know what I'm saying? And my man, police officer, you know what I'm saying? Like they had a whole bromance going on.
Uh-huh.
Did you see that part where I thought they were going to kiss?
I'm not going to say I thought that.
I don't know. My man was real close talking about, hey, let me talk to him for a minute. Everybody came down, he was, yo, go through the left door. No, fool, you about to kiss this man. Like y'all got a whole bromance going on about this.
I need you to get real close. and then hit me.
Yeah, like hit me.
Really hard.
And since does Batman just walk into the crime scene like with the other popos?
Well, you know, and if I'm not mistaken, there are a couple of different versions of Batman in the comic books where he did.
And it seemed like it was more like the old school 70s Batman than like the Batman we know. Like the Batman I know, he doesn't walk. He like him and Commissioner Gordon are cool, but they just don't walk into the crime scene together.
Right.
Batman's kind of like an outlaw.
Uh-huh.
So when did they just become homies like that? Like, you ever see the show Lucifer?
Yeah.
No, yeah. Lucifer gets to be the consultant and just walk around the popos.
Yeah, he just walks in casually.
That's how Batman was. Like, I don't know where these people are from. You know, they ain't gonna come get me to walk in and investigate this crime scene because I'm Batman.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They're gonna beat me down and be like, what you doing here, son?
Mm-hmm.
He was just touching all the evidence. And Gordon said he got gloves on.
He got gloves. Yeah, I remember that. I mean,
this stuff seemed mad corny to me.
There were some very different things, right? Different pieces in this movie that you can't sit and compare with Batman's in the past. But you also have to think this is a different version of Batman. You know, the Keaton Batman, that was a more veteran Batman. He's been in the game for years. Dark Knight was kind of the same Batman.
Went through his whole start from the beginning to the end of his career.
I'm sorry?
It went from the beginning to the end of his career.
Right. Batman Begins and then to the but
I didn't like that. I didn't like those three.
I didn't like Batman Begins.
When Ray Charles Bull was, you know what I'm saying, corny as mug, I was over it. You know, his saying it was way better than this movie.
Yeah.
And his acting was way, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know what to say. At the end, when he stuck around putting people on the helicopter, I was like, when does Batman do this?
Right.
I'm saying right. Batman doesn't like beat the people up and then put them in the ambulance.
Right. No, that's very true.
Like he was an emo, heartfelt Batman.
Mm-hmm. Do
you think that was the right direction for this?
I don't. I don't think it was the right direction because again, like you said, it was a very confusing version. If you're not very open to new ideas and new storylines, then you're not going to be happy with this Batman. You're going to be very confused and conflicted because you want to see the Batman that's going to come out the darkness, whoop some ass, and then get out. Versus come in, pop, 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 and then go. Now, how do you feel? Come here. Let's get up and talk about it.
I thought he was with his hair any minute.
He is the Bruce Wayne with the longest hair out of all of them.
Longest hair ever. You know what I'm saying? The best part to me had to be Paul Dano. I think I'm saying it right.
The Riddler. Oh my gosh. I think he stole the show.
He did to me. And like I'm a big Riddler fan, and I've always loved the Riddler. My favorite was like the bolo hat wearing, you know what I'm saying, jacket wearing Riddler. That was to me the coldest Riddler. I didn't like his costume overall, but portrayal, man, that was killer. My man, he be drinking out the Batman cup. Oh man, you a fanboy for real.
Dude, yeah. I told you, man, my dude. No, like, so
go ahead. No, I'm gonna get you happy. You know what I'm saying? It's my show, but I'm gonna let you happy.
No. Well, I was just gonna say Riddler had this darker look because obviously this version of Batman, this movie was more of a horror film.
It felt like it, right?
Like a comic book. Yeah, no, most definitely. So this Riddler, instead of him being this like super smart, poetic guy, it was more of a serial killer terrorist almost.
There was levels to the riddle. You know what I'm saying? Like you think like, oh, I figured the riddle out, but you really ain't figured out nothing.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? And you had to sit there and just pay attention. Like, and I'm usually a person who can already judge where a movie's going before like even halfway through. But I kept being surprised by pieces of his riddles.
Yep.
You know, like he was like the Batman's supposed to be the world's greatest detective, right? But he was played by the Riddler through the whole thing.
Yep.
You know, I ain't gonna spoil too much while I'm telling people the ending, but Riddler ran the show.
Yeah.
You know, even when they picked him up, it seemed like he was still in control. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, this dude is killing it. And what did you think about that secret, like that intro of the next villain in the movie?
I wanted more. So I'm like, I'm excited about it, but I'm not gonna lie, when that introduction began, I was almost very sure it was one villain. And then when it started kind of showing pieces of like the grates, I think it was like, to kind of show pieces of his face, I was like, wait, is it someone else? And then I was like, no, it's the other guy. And then but then I realized it was.
But when I thought, I don't know, man. I have to see the whole. They say there's already a sequel set up, and saying this guy's gonna show up and be the villain. But they're also talking about a couple of other villains. As this is my career, this is what I do. I'm gonna have to go watch it, and I don't know what to expect. Like sometimes I am surprised. Sometimes they cast people, and like I thought Ben Affleck did not get a big enough shot being Batman.
No, I thought he had potential.
I thought he had great potential. I thought the writing sucked. So let's go over that. So you think it was Twilight, or do you think it was the writing?
Are you talking for this one?
Yes. Because we're saying Ben Affleck did not get a full chance. Part of it was the writing and the editing, right? So is it this dude, is it Twilight's fault for being the emo Batman, or is it the writing itself?
A little bit of both. Let me tell you why. Because this guy, it's almost like, if you look back at, like, let's say, for example, I'm off the top of my head, Urkel. The actor who played Urkel. Unfortunately, that man can't play no other role without anybody going, he looks like Urkel. This man, Robert Pattinson, I'm sorry, I can't see him past being Edward.
See, and then people said that he done some other movies and did some incredible acting, but I really seen Twilight. All I seen was Twilight as Batman. He traded one bat for another.
And even in scenes when he had his shirt off, he was supposed to look muscular or like he just looked pale to me, like Edward.
Like Diesel at all. Like they should have called up the people who train the people for the Marvel movies and put him in.
They should have called Thor's guy, right? They should have called
Thor's guy and been like, yo, we need him a little bit swoller. Right. You're not knocking out 6 people, you know what I'm saying? And he was such the brawler. But we'll go into that next. Okay, when acting alone, A through F, what will you give this?
Overall, I would say C, but I'm gonna give it a B only because the Riddler I felt was so good. I'm gonna give it a B just because of the Riddler.
I'm gonna give it a C minus. I'm saying the only thing that saves it from failing is the Riddler. He brought it up 2 grade points.
Okay.
I thought there was not enough acting in it. I'm saying, and I'm gonna go into why I felt like acting was a major part of this movie next. But if the way the movie was set up, it needed more acting. I needed more depth for the Riddler was the only thing that's only saving grace.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Next, we're going to hit up is overall story. So the overall story going through, do you feel like it flowed? Do you think there was enough action? Do you think, how do you feel?
Okay, so I'm gonna say in terms of the storyline, it was good. And let me tell you why it was good. I'm not gonna say it was great. It was good. There were times I thought the movie was over.